2026 is so fresh it still has that New Year's smell. But the games are already coming thick and fast. Here's everything that Xbox players can look forward to in the next couple of months. Some things have a way of vanishing the second you take your eyes off them. The last slice of pizza, toddlers, your house keys. In Cassette Boy, though, the principle applies to absolutely everything. Arriving on January 15th, this ingenious puzzle RPG has you rotating the entire screen to change your character's perspective and alter the world around them. If you can't see it, it doesn't exist, and you'll use that sweet obliviousness to solve all sorts of clever puzzles while also battling monsters, collecting weapons, and trying to figure out what happened to the moon. If you feel like you've overdone it on the festive cheer and need something to balance it out, Broken Lore Unfollow might be just the thing. This first-person psychological horror follows a woman trapped in a surreal nightmare as she tries to find her way back to safety. Along the way, she'll confront a series of reasonably terrifying creatures, each of whom represent a different form of human trauma. It's frightening, thoughtful, and even features multiple endings for players who didn't get quite petrified enough the first time around, and it'll be out on January 16th. January 20th is set to bring us the mesmerizing mechanical Metroidvania, Mio Memories in Orbit. Oh Mio, oh my, is this game pretty, with an art style that draws on comics, paintings, and anime that goes just beautifully with the game's dynamic soundtrack. And when you're done just sitting there vibing, you'll find that Mio also contains a vast spaceship to explore, filled with dangerous enemies, powerful abilities, and robots who can't wait to be your friend, just as soon as you fix them up. Final Fantasy VII was already regarded as one of the greatest games of all time before the remake spruced it up with gorgeous new visuals, fast-paced gameplay, and new story stuff. And now, on January 22nd, the Intergrade version will take that version and upgrade it even further with even better visuals, plus an additional story DLC called Intermission. That bonus bit helps bridge the gap between this game and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is on the way to Xbox as well. So this is all just coming together beautifully. But if that wasn't enough, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade has also been handheld optimized, so you can enjoy this epic RPG on a portable device, something that would have actually made heads explode if you mentioned it back in 1997. Inspired by a papery RPG series, Escape from Ever After is a turn-based game with a lovely storybook aesthetic and a story about taking down capitalism. What's not to like? Take on classic fairy tale characters like the Three Little Pigs and knock some sense into them with timing-based action a la Claire Obscura. Recruit other characters to your party, upgrade their skills, and form an unbeatable team, while still finding plenty of time for goofing around. It looks like a blast, it's extremely Shrek-coded, and Escape from Ever After will be here on January 23rd. And if you'd like to try it once upon an even more convenient time, you can play through the whole chapter right now thanks to the free demo. Arriving on January 27th, rightfully Berry Arms is a soft and fuzzy looking thing that will absolutely mess you up if you give it the slightest chance, just like a real bear. Combining bullet hell and roguelike mechanics, Rightfully Berry Arms has you blasting your way through a screen filled with enemies, grabbing new buffs and weapons as you go. But these aren't just little damage increases or slightly different shot patterns. You can warp your gear so that it works completely different and even changes the entire rules of the game. Not every change will work in your advantage though, so bear that in mind. Bear. I initially thought that I Hate This Place was about someone with a grudge against a particular sort of flatfish, but it turns out it's the other kind of place, and it's actually an isometric horror game with a cool 80s vibe, so the more you know. Try to survive on a ranch that's riddled with nightmarish creatures, using those precious daylight hours to scavenge and craft, then getting ready to scrap once the sun goes down. Between how much more aggressive enemies become at night and how much more difficult it is to navigate by flashlight, I Hate This Place is the perfect game for people whose New Year's resolution was to develop a crippling fear of the dark. And it comes out on January 29th. The Ninth Charnel might sound like a typo that you're going to get ridiculed for in the group chat over, but it's actually a first-person survival horror game which is going to be released on January 30th. Playing as a humble scientist in a near-future world where things have gone very badly wrong, you'll need to use a blend of stealth and direct combat to stay alive. Ammo is scarce and danger is extremely not scarce, so the Ninth Charnel is all about staying calm, planning carefully, and generally trying to not let the oppressive atmosphere of imminent doom get to you. Code Vein 2 lets you team up with a character named Lyle McLeish, I'm not saying that's the only reason you should buy it or even the main reason, but what a great name. Anyhow, this sanguine sequel once again has the player taking control of a blood-sucking undead warrior known as a Revenant as they fight for the future of humanity. That means more fast-paced combat using Code Vein's unique mechanics to drain your enemies and power your moves. Plus more spectacular boss fights and more unforgettable companions to fight alongside, including Lyle. So if you're a sucker for vampiric anime action, Code Vein 2 will be out on January 30th. Star Sand Island is a pastoral paradise where someone can really unwind. On Star Sand Island, you can reconnect with nature by starting your own farm or garden and bonding with all sorts of animals. Take a sailboat out around the coast, or use your scooter to scoot around the island. No matter where you go, you're sure to run into someone fascinating. Oh, and you can also battle ancient monsters if it all gets a bit too tranquil. So yeah, Star Sand Island really has it all, and it arrives on February 1st. Dragon Quest VII is back on February 5th, and it's not just been remastered or even remade, it's been full-on reimagined. What does that mean? Well, it means this beloved JRPG gets an adorable new diorama-esque art style and an expanded vocation system that adds a whole new layer of tactical depth and flexibility. Plus, you can skip battles against weak monsters altogether thanks to a preemptive strike mechanic that Metaphor ReFantazio fans will be all over. My Hero Academia All's Justice is a 3D arena fighter that has players squaring off in teams of 3, because there's no I in My Hero Academia. Never mind. All's Justice features a stacked roster of UA students and pro heroes, all appearing in their latest and most powerful forms. Mix and match your team's quirks to find the trio that works best together, and then get ready to dish out some quirky pain. My Hero Academia All's Justice will be out on February 6th. Romeo's a Dead Man begins with space-time being shattered, our hero getting killed, brought back, and then enlisted into the FBI's space-time police force. Again, that's just how this game begins. Suda 51 is back with another third-person actioner that looks just as stylish and surprising as No More Heroes. Switch between swords and guns as you carve up your foes, then use their blood to power a devastating special move. And if I had a penny for every 2026 game that let me do that, I'd have 2 pennies. That's actually kind of surprising as it is. Romeo is a Dead Man promises to be an exercise in pure bombastic action, and it's going to be out on February 11th. Arriving on February 11th, BlazBlue Entropy Effect X is a roguelike actioner that tells a brand new story set in the BlazBlue universe. Or the BlazBlueuniverse, if you will. What's that? You don't want that? Okay, it's all good. Entropy Effect X's 2D combat is super fast, but also ultra responsive, making for an experience that's extremely satisfying and always feels fair, even when you're getting the life spectacularly kicked out of you. There are hundreds of moves to master, tons of ways to customize your fighting style, and a whole range of distinctive characters to get a grip with. So if you're looking for an action game to really dig deep into, BlazBlue Entropy Effect X is ideal. And it's an Xbox Play Anywhere title too, so you can buy it once and play it across all your Xbox platforms. 2 wheels good, 4 wheels bad. That's the law of the land in the new motorcycle racer Ride 6, which arrives on February 12th. There are over 250 bikes to ride with miles of asphalt just waiting for you to tear it up, and the option to take things off-road and get some dirt on those tires. Master different disciplines and become a legend at RideFest, or go head-to-head in cross-platform multiplayer. And with both a simplified arcade experience for pure thrill seekers and a pro experience that delivers simulation-level depth and control, Ride 6 makes things as easy as riding a bike. A very, very fast bike, that is. February 12th is a big day for Like a Dragon fans, as Yakuza 3 gets a remake which comes bundled with a brand new story expansion. Yakuza Kiwami 3 adds more depth and detail to every element of the third game, with a more vibrant world to explore and combat that's somehow more brutal than before. And Dark Ties then totally turns the tables by letting you play as the villain as he fights for redemption. If it can find a table that Kazuma hasn't already powerbombed somebody through, I guess. Whether you're experiencing the third chapter in this gangster epic for the first time, or you're looking to revisit it, Yakuza Kiwami 3 is the best way to do it. Game Pass Ultimate members can let their guns do the talking all over again when High on Life 2 arrives on February 13th. This time, you'll be taking on an intergalactic, anti-human conspiracy wielding a new arsenal of devastatingly funny, funnily devastating alien guns as you do. Not to mention a very nifty new skateboard. Visit a human zoo, take a ride on a luxury space cruiser, and spend some more time just kicking around waiting for someone to say something else that's totally ridiculous and ethically questionable. You won't be waiting long for that to happen. The creators of Little Nightmares are back with another spine-tingling adventure on February 13th. Reanimal sends players off on a mission to find their lost friends, making their way through a world steeped in mystery and crawling with danger. Working together is the key to staying alive, and you can play Reanimal in local or online co-op. So at least you'll have someone there for a bit of moral support, or to relentlessly mock you when you get scared. Either way. We're getting right back into Goblin mode in 2026 with Styx Blades of Greed set to arrive on February 19th. This stealth action game is a bit like a darker, slightly less suave take on Ocean's 11 as you plan and pull off a series of daring heists. To get your grubby green mitts on the treasure, you'll need to craft supplies, direct your crew, and find a way past the various guards and traps you encounter. It doesn't have to be a nice way, and each stage of Styx Blades of Greed has multiple possible solutions, so if you want to solve all your problems with a dagger, that's entirely your business. We're heading to a watery new world on February 24th with the story-driven multiplayer game Tides of Tomorrow. From the team behind Road 96, this aquatic adventure also has you interacting with a cast of eccentric characters and making choices that have very different consequences for you and the world around you. However, this time, you'll also have to keep an eye on the decisions being made by your friends and favorite streamers, because they'll have a big impact on your tale as well. So altogether, Tides of Tomorrow sounds like a really inventive blend of single and multiplayer gaming, and the ideal chance for you to reflect on which of your friends you really trust to make meaningful decisions. If you've been losing sleep over the lack of new AI The Somnium files, then you'll be pleased to know that Kaname Date has been right there with you, and that there's a new one arriving on February 26th. No Sleep for Kaname Date is a visual novel about an internet idol who's been abducted by aliens and forced to compete in a bizarre escape game. Fortunately, Date is a man with a real eye for detail, specifically his artificial AI-powered left eye, and he'll use it to track her down no matter how weird things get along the way. Velvet is back, and she's looking more vengeful than ever in Tales of Berseria Remastered, probably because someone named her Velvet. The 16th main entry in the anime-style action RPG series returns on February 27th with tidy new graphics and loads of quality-of-life improvements, including destination markers that promise to make navigating its gorgeous world a whole lot easier. And it also includes all of the original game's DLC, meaning you're gonna have so many costumes at your disposal like you don't even know. Closing out February with a huge release, we've got Resident Evil Requiem on the 27th. The 9th entry in this iconic survival horror series introduces a brand new protagonist, FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft. Like so many of her predecessors, Grace is going to spend the game being pursued by a devastatingly powerful monster, which is sure to make solving a mysterious case involving multiple disappearances over at Raccoon City Hotel that much harder. On the bright side, Resident Evil Requiem does let you swap freely between first and third person, so you've got that going for you. Call of Duty is kicking off 2026 with a Fallout-themed mid-season reload, bringing us limited-time content such as the Deathclaw Hunt Endgame World event, Special Mayhem for multiplayer, Project Rads for zombies, and Power Armor Royale in Warzone. 4 fresh maps and 13 new loadout items, including some bangers from Black Ops 6, like the Impact Grenade and the Shock Charge. They also got added. And of course, there are some real classy Fallout cosmetics to earn through 3 different seasonal events. And for better players than me, you can now earn Warzone win streak rewards for some exclusive camos. That'll be nice for you. If you're in the mood for more urbane anime antics, Zenless Zone Zero actually snuck in a new update right at the end of December. Version 2.5 provides a thrilling finale to the second season storyline, as well as a new character who's as powerful as she is utterly adorable. If you're just not ready to say goodbye to Hawkins come 2026, then you're in luck, because Dead by Daylight will be digging back into the world of disappearing kids and demogorgons this January. Maybe there won't be any killers chasing us and we can all just sit around and reminisce. I mean, stranger things have happened. What's at the top of your gaming to-do list for 2026? Hit the comments and let us know. Bye for now.